client came to me who was so afraid of bumblebees, she couldn't leave the house. She would run from her car into my office. Our work together helped her discover that she had a hidden childhood memory of being in a garden with her mother, surrounded by flowers and bumblebees. And her mother, in this hidden memory, told her that while she was there in this appreciating the flowers in the garden, that her big sister was upstairs in the hospital receiving a life-saving kidney operation. My client, this little girl, crisscrossed the fear of losing her big sister with the bumblebees, and so she'd been afraid of bees her whole life. After our work together, her life completely changed. She was no longer running from the car to the building.
Amazing. Michelle, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Beautiful, and thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, Michelle, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Michelle, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest that in yourself. And oftentimes, Michelle, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. Let's say some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Michelle, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Michelle, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, mm, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it. Beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, which are not just mangoes now. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience that day, and I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Michelle that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your philosophies, your insight, the impact your work is having, and how you are offering your solutions, Michelle. These stuffs are beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Michelle is doing. And not only me now, because I don't want to be selfish, and even with the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Michelle. So thank you so very much for doing that to yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, Michelle.
Well, I'm honored to be here. Thank you. And thank you for sharing your story about the mango tree. I've heard it on your show before,
Oh, really?
and I love hearing the story.
Thank you.
It's such a nice reminder that time changes things and that things are not the same all the time, and that it's important to keep your eyes open and important to recognize that beauty might take a season, might take a good rain, might take some bees to do some pollinating, but it can be found all over the place. And it's important not to let life pass you by.
Very, very true. And I got that. That's a beautiful one. So let's get started, Michelle. You see, I am quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Michelle, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge alone, but the application of it. And you see, Michelle, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the incredible Michelle on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, Michelle, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Michelle, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Michelle, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Michelle got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Michelle, over to you.
Super. So I'm speaking to you from California. I'm a California girl. Grew up here. I spent most of my life in California. I've traveled a lot, but I've lived a couple of other places, but this is definitely home for me. I was blessed with great parents and a good upbringing, and went off and got a biology degree and then a master's degree in business, and spent 20 something years working in digital marketing from the late 90s. And I still do work in digital marketing, but it's different now. I used to work in corporate for big companies like Clorox and Schwab and Google, fancy schmancy places like that. That work was always coming and going, and I had to get really good at manifesting new jobs, because it wasn't usually me. It was usually something changed in the environment and the work would drift away. It did allow me to work on my skills in creativity and my skills in persuasion. And I loved it because it was always something new, always something challenging. And it was, at the core of it, was understanding how people think. And when I work in marketing, it's thinking about how audiences think, how lots of people think, and how to help them, how to persuade them to be open-minded, maybe try your product, talk about your product. What could be better? What could be better about your service? I had a lovely, wonderful husband. He was born with a lifelong illness, needed a lung transplant, got one, and we were together for about 11 years. He passed away in 2011 after having had a yeah, he had a stroke, and he'd been in a rest home for a few years, and he wasn't himself. He couldn't talk, he couldn't walk, he just wasn't himself, and I think he's gone to a better place. A few years later, I met a wonderful man, fed head over heels in love with him. He was healthy, which was part of the criteria, and tall and attractive and smart, and we had a lot in common. Sadly, he was diagnosed with a terminal disease and then had a stroke and seizures, and he passed away in 2021, about 10 years later. So after these two losses, I was pretty hurt and depressed, but I decided to look at things kind of another way and to see what good could come out of all this. How could I do something about this that would be good for me and good for other people? Well, on the side, in 2019, 2020, I had trained as a clinical hypnotherapist. And because my life was just kind of completely changing with the loss of a partner, the loss of a corporate digital marketing job, my kid was graduating high school, I sold a house, like all kinds of stuff going on. I said, okay, this is the time to like be an entrepreneur and do something completely different. So I hung up a shingle and started seeing people for hypnotherapy. And I thought I would be good at it. It turns out I'm really good at it. And I've helped all kinds of people with impressive transformations. I've helped people get over their fear of being on an airplane. I've helped people get over their fear of bumblebees. I've helped people stop bad habits like too much sugar and hair pulling and it's just amazing to me now that I'm in it and I see it from the inside how helpful this technique can be for people in terms of changing their attitude, changing their frame, changing their way of life. And so I'm overjoyed to be able to share that this is such a fantastic technique for almost everyone. There are a handful of people who don't do well with hypnosis, but almost everyone to be able to let go of bad habits or write that book you've always wanted to write or conquer new mountains that are sitting in front of you.
Amazing, and that's a beautiful one. I tell you, what you're doing is really impactful. And I love the fact that you didn't allow the things that you went through devastate you. You said you decided to look at things uniquely. And now look at where we are today. Amazing. I love that. So I've got some questions here for you, Michelle. Are you ready for me?
Yes,
Okay. So let us talk about the transformations that hypnosis can create. Can you talk to us about some?
absolutely. I've seen some massive transformations. One client came to me who was so afraid of bumblebees, she couldn't leave the house. She would run from her car into my office. And this impacted her whole life. She was a woman in her mid 30s, and she told me this had been going on since she was a little girl. She remembered it as always having been there, and she'd never been stung by a bee in her life. Our work together helped her discover that she had a hidden childhood memory of being in a garden with her mother, surrounded by flowers and bumblebees. And her mother, in this hidden memory, told her that while she was there in this is appreciating the flowers in the garden, that her big sister was upstairs in the hospital receiving a life-saving kidney operation. Well, my client, this little girl, crisscrossed the fear of losing her big sister with the bumblebees. And so she'd been afraid of bees her whole life. After our work together, her life completely changed. She was no longer running from the car to the building.
Amazing.
She could sit on the patio. She could go to the boyfriend's picnic. It's quite a change of life if you are no longer afraid to be outside. I've helped other clients to cut back on drinking from a bottle of wine to a glass. I've helped other clients to, like I said, let go of bad habits like hair pulling and eating too much sugar. I've helped clients establish new great habits. One of the, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but I have a new app that's out and I'm seeing evidence that people are getting help by my app for self hypnosis in quick order very easily. It's so wonderful to be able to bring this tool to so many.
Amazing, and that's so beautiful. Okay, so still got some questions here. How can hypnosis help someone rewrite their life story? Got it?
So, what hypnosis does is it's a natural process that dials down certain sections of the brain. And when those sections of the brain are dialed down, you are able to make big changes that are unavailable to you when you're working in a solely conscious state. So, hypnosis makes you more suggestible, it makes you more focused, and it makes you more able to imagine different things happening with your body. And so I am just a guide. I help people get into this state. And then I use working with them, their own feelings and beliefs to reshape what they're thinking about themselves so that they're the ones who are really opening the doors to a new and better life.
Wow, I got that. So, what is the new, or what is new at the intersection of wellness and AI?
What's new at the intersection of wellness and AI is my app. I realized that while there's a lot of online recordings for hypnotherapy, what they're missing is they're not custom for the individual. And having a custom recording is much more powerful than having a recording that's not made specifically for you. It's just made for anybody who download it. I invented an app this year called MakeMyHypno.com. It's a website that you go to and you answer a few questions and you get delivered a custom made hypnotherapy script about 16 minutes long, and it's delivered to your inbox for you to own forever. My clients who are listening to these recordings are reporting amazing results. A client of mine, Frida, told me that her recording helped her get to the gym regularly and lift weights, which is something she'd wanted to do. I have two other clients who've reported great results in terms of changing their eating habits and letting go, ditching sugar. I have another client who reported great success with starting her walks and dancing in front of the TV. It helps with confidence, anxiety, stress, and 16 other topics. It uses my instructions and my voice to produce a custom made recording just for you, just for whatever's going on with you.
That's an amazing style. Combining AI with this beautiful stuff. Nah, nah, nah. That's very smart and wise. And thank you for doing that. So your clients, do you work with everyone, or you have specific kind of people that you work with? I mean, your clients.
I don't work with everyone. I work with a wide variety of topics, but there are a few things that I'm not the expert in, and I have other partner hypnotherapists that I would refer to if I wasn't a good person to work with a particular client on their issue. I do work on a wide variety of things. I love helping people, especially with professional things. I think I've always loved work, and I like helping people get back to work, reframe their attitude about work. I even wrote two jobs or two books about work in a sense. I have a book called An Alignment of Spirit, making uh, and it's a book that helps you manifest a new job, which is the only book I know about manifesting a new job. And I also wrote a book earlier this year called The ABCs of Conscious Leadership. And it's not really a business book exactly, it's really a leadership book, but it's meant to help people to emphasize their skills in leadership so that they can see themselves as leaders and build those traits.
Amazing, amazing. That's a great one. You're really doing a fantastic one, and I appreciate you, Michelle. So, to bring this to an end, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those individuals who would like to reach out to you, open your services or programs, or even ask you questions, or make a purchase of wonderful books, how can that be possible?
I want to let your listeners know that if you're having a down day, recognize it might be like the mango tree that is just having a down day too, and that there is a way to lift yourself up and pull yourself out of it. You can find lots of information about my services, the kinds of people I help, and my books and my tool all at my website at michellewalters.net. MICHELLEWALTERS.net. And you can find my custom hypnosis recording solution at makemyhypno.com. MAKEMYHYPNO.com. And Elisha, I have a special link that I'd like to share with you
Hmm,
for your listeners, if they go to the link that I hope you can include in the show notes, it will say there's a code there to save them 25% off on a purchase at your partner.
amazing. That's so generous of you, Michelle. Thank you.
I like to share the goodness.
Wonderful. I love that. I love that. So that's going to be the end of the show, Michelle. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
It means a great deal to me to be on your show. Thank you for what you're doing and thanks for the opportunity.